Renault's 2026 Duster is hitting the market aggressively, but it arrives with a massive and confusing price spread. You can buy a base model for 10.29 lakh, or you can stretch your budget all the way to 18.49 lakh for the top end. In between those two numbers, buyers face a wall of options. There are 6 distinct trim levels, 2 entirely different engine setups, and 2 gearbox options. It is incredibly easy to get paralyzed by the choices. We are going to filter out the marketing noise and evaluate this lineup using a strict return on investment analysis. Instead of looking at what the brochure says you need, we will calculate exactly what you get for every extra rupee you spend. Dealerships structure their pricing to keep you stepping up to the next trim level, 100,000 rupees at a time. Our goal today is to pinpoint the specific variant that maximizes your functional, everyday value before those returns drop off. The trap starts right at the headline. That attractive 10.29 lakh base price is tied exclusively to the entry-level 1.0-liter turbo engine. This chart shows the mechanical reality of that 1.0-liter option. This is a 3-cylinder engine pushing just 100 horsepower, the exact same unit Renault puts in the much smaller Kiger. When you drop that into the heavy frame of a mid-size SUV like the Duster, the power-to-weight ratio plummets. On the road, this mismatch means you will struggle with highway overtakes and experience a sluggish response in city traffic. Contrast that with the 1.3-liter turbo, which delivers 163 horsepower and 280 newton-meters of torque, giving the SUV the momentum it actually requires. Because of this stark difference in performance, we are establishing a strict baseline for the rest of this analysis. We are eliminating the 1.0-liter engine entirely and only evaluating the 1.3-liter turbo variants. Saving money on the lowest-tier engine compromises the core driving dynamics of the vehicle. True value in the Duster lineup only begins when you secure the engine that can handle its weight. With the 1.0-liter out of the way, your actual starting point is the Evolution trim with the 1.3-liter engine. At 12.69 lakh for the manual, this is your baseline for modern essentials. Looking at the feature matrix, the Evolution tier secures mandatory tech. You get a 10.1-inch touchscreen, automatic climate control, and 17-inch alloys. You'll notice the empty rows below. By stopping here, you are actively opting out of panoramic sunroofs, 8S, and high-end cabin leathers. Choosing the DCT automatic adds 1.5 lakh to the sticker, but that premium includes specific mechanical upgrades, rear disc brakes, and an electronic parking brake. The Evolution trim sets an uncompromising minimum standard. You secure the superior engine and the necessary daily tech without paying a premium for luxury padding. Stepping up from the Evolution baseline to the Techno trim requires a price jump of approximately 1.8 lakh. Our feature matrix shows what that premium buys. The Techno tier introduces lifestyle features, specifically the panoramic sunroof and power tailgate. It also targets the driver's seat. The matrix populates with dual-zone climate control, a wireless charger, and an auto-dimming rearview mirror. When you line these inclusions up against top-spec models from competitors like the Creta or Seltos, the Duster Techno undercuts them significantly while offering a nearly identical feature set. Mathematically, the Techno trim delivers the highest return on investment in the Duster lineup. It provides 90% of the premium SUV experience at the most optimal price point. The next rung on the ladder is the Techno Plus, which asks for an additional 80,000 rupees over the Techno. Expanding our matrix again, we see what this 80,000 rupee jump secures. The 17-inch wheels swap to 18-inch alloys, the 7-inch driver screen upgrades to a 10.25-inch digital cluster, and you gain blind spot monitoring. Outside of the blind spot warning, these are cosmetic and feel-good additions. A slightly larger digital cluster and 1 extra inch on the wheels do not alter the car's function or passenger comfort. Compare this to the previous jump. For 1.8 lakh, you gained a sunroof, a power tailgate, and dual-zone climate. Here, you are paying half that amount for a screen upgrade and larger rims. This is a clear example of diminishing returns. For buyers strictly optimizing their spend, the Techno Plus fails the ROI test. The 80K premium does not meaningfully improve the daily utility of the vehicle. Finally, we reach the ceiling, the top-spec iconic trim, which pushes the Duster's price tag to the 18.5 lakh mark for the automatic version. The final column reveals the technology reserved for this top tier. Renault restricts the Level 2 ADAS suite and 360-degree camera exclusively to the iconic variant. You also max out the interior materials, gaining ventilated leather seats, ambient lighting, and Google built-in infotainment. At 18.5 lakh, you are paying top dollar. At this specific price point, it is worth noting that rival SUVs currently offer slightly more mature ADAS implementations than what Renault has equipped here. The iconic trim forces you to abandon strict ROI logic. It exists solely for the buyer who refuses to compromise on active safety features and cabin luxury, regardless of the mathematical premium. But raw data only goes so far. To make the correct purchasing decision, you have to match these numbers directly to how you actually intend to use the car. Our scorecard defines 3 distinct buyers. First is the strict optimizer. If your priority is keeping the budget tight, but you refuse to suffer through an underpowered commute, your answer is the Evolution 1.3-liter. Second is the value maximizer. If you want the sunroof and the climate control of a premium SUV without paying a bloated sticker price, the Techno 1.3-liter is your sweet spot. Finally, the uncompromised buyer. If you have the budget and demand the 360 camera, ADAS, and ventilated seats, you bypass the middle trims entirely and buy the iconic 1.3-liter. By identifying your specific constraint right now, you eliminate the illusion of choice. You insulate yourself from upsells because you already know the exact value of every feature. There is one final factor to consider before you walk into a showroom. Renault is planning to introduce a 1.8-liter strong hybrid powertrain, expected around Diwali. Waiting for the hybrid presents a direct trade-off. You will eventually secure maximum fuel efficiency, particularly in city traffic. However, you will have to delay your purchase by several months and pay a massive, currently unknown, price premium for that battery tech. You have to weigh your immediate need for a vehicle today against your personal tolerance for waiting on an unpriced future option. The best Duster variant solves your daily commute mathematically, outperforming the one that simply looks impressive on a dealership brochure.